What's up, everybody, and welcome to the director's commentary for Procrastination, a 48-hour film. For those of you who don't know, the 48-hour film contest is a contest in which you show up and you pick a genre out of a hat, and you get to make a film in 48 hours. Within those 48 hours, you have to produce and create all of the material that you submit. And you also have to include certain elements in your film. So, for example, this year you had to include the character Ed Marlena, which is it had to be a journalist of some kind, or it could be Ellie Marlena, so it could be male or female. You also had to say the line. "I don't care, you decide." And then there had to be a wrapped present in the film. So after I submitted the film and I went to watch everyone else's film on my screening night, every single film that premiered had all of those elements in it. So you'll see those three things in the film. And without further ado, let's get started. You know, the 48-hour film contest is one of those kinds of things that was so intriguing to me because it's a challenge. Now, to put something together in 2 days and master it and put it out is pretty difficult. But I was up for it, so I decided to give it a go. That was my little logo that you saw on the screen there, Upper State Entertainment. That's my production company. The 48-hour film contest logo, there's that one. So this is actually in Encino, Southern California, which is just, north of Santa Monica there. This is the house of the producer, Geoff. And that is my friend Julia. She did a wonderful job. Is actually a singer-songwriter. On the side, she does that as well. This is fantastic. So this scene is really interesting because the lighting that's coming through that window there, we tried to make it look as natural as possible, but it's actually not. That is like a 1,000-watt RE tungsten light shining in from outside to get that kind of that morning look.
Rise and shine, Ruby. It's time to procrastinate.
And this is actually the same exact bed that Julia was woke up in too, because we only had one bed that would be like an adult sized bed. We just changed the sheets, changed the pillow cover, and called it good. This one's a great shot here. If you look at this, this is actually one of my favorites. We only had 4 eggs, so we had to do it in only a couple times. I think we did it on the third try. But the concept here is that she cracks the egg and we're focused on the pan, and then as she releases the egg, we focus up on Kara. So we've got that kind of rack focus. So it's one of my favorite shots. Now that's what's also interesting about this kitchen is this is also a light coming in from the outside. So when we were shooting the scene, it was in fact. It was 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and it was completely dark outside. But we put that light out there, and you just shine it straight in, close the blinds, made it look like it was in the morning. Cleaned up the dishes a little bit, and we're good to go.
Scrambled eggs. I don't care. You decide.
She was actually supposed to say some more lines at this point. I wrote into it, what's for breakfast, Rumi? Scrambled eggs, over easy, over hard. Kind of made those lines a little bit longer just in case, during the music, I'd rather cut more out than I would have it be too long and not be able to get the dialogue out. So there was some dialogue missing there.
Scrambled eggs.
And of course, here's
You decide.
there's that required line.
In a new car one day, I could see myself in a Benz or a G. But you won't get that G because the pay sucks and there's no benefits.
There was actually supposed to be a couple of more shots here. We just ran out of time. I couldn't get them all. But she starts talking about her Honda Civic, her favorite car, and her little car. And I was gonna have her walk to the window, kind of look outside of the window, and then maybe maybe get outside and then look into the window as she's like admiring her car, just to have like a little bit more, but we couldn't do it. So this entire shot was basically just as long as it was, just because I couldn't do anything else because we were on such a schedule.
We were up late last night drinking Jack and Coke. Party hard on Thursdays, that's why we're broke. Getting slush and
This scene was actually a lot of fun. We did this at the very end, and I tried to light it up, like a club and whatnot. Use some color gels and get this interesting lighting going on. This is actually just the office in the back. We just made it real dark, and you can kind of see a little bit behind them. There's this like fog, and I had the same problem with Special Delivery, my last short film. It was just I couldn't get the fog to stay. It's like next time I use fog, I'm just gonna have to like turn it on for like 10 minutes and just like leave the room and come back. But it turned out great, it's kind of quick and it's lit kind of crazy. You wouldn't really know, like you kind of don't know where you are, but they're inside of an office in the back of the house.
I don't know, like soup.
Oh my god, I am never drinking whiskey again.
Oh, hi, Ed.
This was like the first shot of the day right here.
Hey, Ed, Marlena.
It was at we think we started at like 2 o'clock. This is the required character, and he's a journalist, and
Oh, Ed. You could write about how I'd rather jump off a cliff than go to work.
and of course the required present. That's the prop. It was really funny. Right at this point, we were kind of shooting this like right in the middle of the day, and a couple of like little girls came walking down the street, and they were like from the neighborhood, and they started asking, around. They were like, "Hey, what is this for? What are you shooting?" And it was just kind of funny, like, or just shooting a little film for the 48-hour film contest, like no big deal. But they were kind of excited to see what was happening.
Thanks. I'm pretty sure that the neighbor likes you. I'm pretty sure I know.
And here again, we're shooting light in from outside, and you can see these lines on the right side of the screen over here, where it kind of gave that horizontal blind effect, and that's just from the light outside. I mean, I didn't even know. I think this was like, again, like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but just shooting in horizontally make it look like it was morning.
Gonna do it because I'm not a hoe.
And at this point, it was starting to get a little dark. I think the sun was pretty much down at this point. So if you like look in the blinds in the back, you can see it's like actually dark out there. But tried to hide it best you could, and then go from there. But when they step outside, that was from earlier. That was actually right before lunch, as a matter of fact. Some of these shots are color graded and some of them aren't. Like, for example, this was really quite like, it was like a really cool shot. So I actually came in and changed it to kind of like make it a little bit warmer. Like, that kind of that morning, that morning warmth that, you would think or feel like, or like in, right when you wake up, you're like ready to go to work. A couple of people have asked me how I got this shot here. And this is it's just a glide cam. I just like ran around them. And we had to do it a couple of times so I could like time it right, but I was like running around, but it was great. It turned out perfect, landed right there, and go from there.
Okay, well, we should probably go. I'm gonna be late.
So there you have it, Procrastination, a 48-hour film, which was a musical, written, directed by me, with help from my mom and Geoff, and my brother came out from Vegas to help, which I'm very thankful of. I had a great time shooting with friends and family, and really got to experience what it was to work on such a tight schedule, because it's difficult, in order to. It's difficult in order to meet deadlines. So there you have it. It was really interesting. My film actually made the best of the first time around, which was fantastic. I was like so stoked about it, and you can see this here. Got my audience award winner for Procrastination, which was great. So I really enjoyed doing that. I'll probably end up doing, the 48-hour film next year too. It was a lot of fun, really challenging. There's a lot of really talented people out there. When I went to the best of and saw all of the really talented people, like being able to produce such an amazing piece of material in such a short amount of time, it was really, really inspiring, And one of the big things that came out of doing this whole project and seeing everybody else's films was a new philosophy that I discovered while sitting in the theater watching these other people's films. A lot of people will say that your camera is kind of like your paintbrush when you're creating a masterpiece. You're like painting a picture for an audience. And I kind of thought about it a little differently. I was thinking to myself, well, what if your camera was actually the paint and your story was the paintbrush, and then your creative ability to put the two and two together, that is what filmmaking is. So all in all, it was a wonderful experience. I had a great time with a lot of people and learned a bunch of stuff along the way. Thanks for watching.